are there any overused production trends or techniques that are being used currently that you're kind of sick of?
Yes, honestly, I gotta say, Omnisphere is overused. You know what I
Dang, yo, shots fired. He came at
mean?
Omnisphere, bro.
I gotta
That's
say,
crazy.
I know sounds are limitless and everything, but it's like everything is so overused now.
Hey guys, what's good? It's your boy Opta Music. Welcome back to another episode of the Rapzilla Freshman interview. I'm here with Dara JT. He's 2022's Rapzilla Freshman. So Dara, how you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing great. God is good. I'm just grateful to be alive and well. Just grateful to use this gift to honor him. So, yep.
I know I kind of cut you off, but speak your tag one time, real quick.
Say it again.
Say your tag one real quick. I know I cut you off.
Yeah, you're good. Dara JT. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's Dara right there. So Dara, you've had a crazy year, man. Let's see. You've produced a bunch of records. A couple of records with like some prominent CHH artists, independent CHH artists here. You've been mentoring and teaching music production classes at schools. You've been an advocate for the female producer community. You've been doing like having a Discord community. You've been doing like really mentoring, hopping on calls, and investing time into these producers that or these people that really want to get into production and really sowing seed in them. So how does that feel?
Man, it feels still mind blowing just for God to trust me with this and then take it to the next level where people need the information, people need the knowledge. And it's like once they get to that level, just after me pouring into them, they can do the same for somebody else and teach them just the way I've gave them the information that they needed to start.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and we were recently at the Rapzilla Freshman showcase in Tampa, Florida. Had a beat battle. Y'all really went at it. That was crazy. I saw those clips, man. Really dope. So you've been doing your thing, with the Rapzilla showcase. You've been attending other shows, and we're gonna get to like the Holy Gang production and stuff. So we know that you're a part of the crew with the DJ Vaughn, with the Holy Gang production. So talk to us about that a little bit. Where can people find you? What's up with that?
So definitely Hooligan Productions is a production company owned by DJ Vaughn, and he's been looking for a producer as well. So I decided to join him and just be his A&R, his producer as well too, and just help him to bring clients to the studio so they can get that song produced, mixed and mastered too, at an affordable rate as well too. And literally, it's just been a blessing, just bringing a lot of people here, a lot of artists here for them to work with him. It's just an honor, and I just see what God is going to do with Holy Gang Productions.
That's amazing, bro. That's awesome to hear that you've paired up with the engineer to like get people in the studio and start cooking up and like really like work and do this. So that's really dope. Um, so yeah, before we get into all the nitty-gritty questions, Dara, I like to take this moment to let people know more about you. Your testimony, how you came up, like, what's your story? What's your background when it comes to this music production thing in CHH?
For me, I gotta say, for me being a creative, born and raised from Nigeria, a lot of people don't see that as normal. You know what I mean? Like you either gotta get a job in you gotta be a doctor, you gotta be an engineer, you gotta be a lawyer, you gotta be one of those things in the African
I
culture.
feel you. I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah. Well, for me, I grew up in the church. My parents are pastors as well too. Literally just grew up listening to a lot of Afro beats, growing up listening to a lot of rhythms and instrumentals growing up as well. And literally, production came at me at a young age, and I still thank God for that moment when I discovered it in my cousin's house back in Nigeria, and literally just decided to take it to the next level and just keep being consistent. Literally, and it's like the year 2019, 2020 is when everything just started happening. Like nobody knew who I was. All I did was just kept creating and just being consistent. And now, just by being fruitful with what God has given me, God blessed me in 2020, and it hasn't stopped from there. And I'm just grateful to just use my gift to be a blessing to the people around me.
That's amazing. That's an awesome story, my man. But let's get dive into a little bit more like some deep questions like production wise and like because I'm sure there's a bunch of young artists watching this and they're like, how do you get started? Like, what's the what's the approach like? And I'm sure you must, and you doing these music production classes. You
Mm-hmm.
always offer this kind of advice, but I like to like kind of get a little deeper. So how do you use if someone watching this is maybe not a producer. So how do you use your talent to inspire others? You can talk as a producer and for other people as well. So how do you use your talent to inspire others?
How I use my talent to inspire others is by also connecting, for example, connecting that artist with that person that they want to work with. That's another skill set that God has given me. Even if it's not about production, some people be like, Dara, I'm looking for somebody. And then there's an artist that I'm working with. Her name is Verb 124. So she's like, Dara, you're that guy. I know a guy. Like call Dara, he'll be like, I know a guy. I know a guy.
That's
Yeah.
facts. That's facts.
So yeah. So it's like I'm just apart from production, I'm just using the gift that God has given me to network and bring people together so that they can be inspired and do the same thing for the next person as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. So on the flip side, as a music producer, what do you do when you feel uninspired as
Ooh,
yourself?
that's a good question. Sometimes I do feel uninspired to actually create something. And what I do is this, I just leave it. I don't force it. I don't like to force that idea. That idea will come. Or like sometimes I just watch cook-up videos because they inspire me and just like look at different techniques. I'm like, oh snap. Sometimes people will be recording the keys or recording like a synth instrument, the hardware, and then recording it into the program, the DAW, and it's fun too. Even I want to mess with more. One that has been inspiring me lately is guitar pedals. Like I love the microcosm pedal. The microcosm pedal is so fire. I
So
want to get one so bad, and it's like the knobs and the features, the techniques, and everything. Oh, that guitar pedal is limitless. I'm just like, whoa, that can spark new ideas and new melodies too.
that's awesome. So let's dive a little deeper into like who you are as a producer. So Uh, especially when it comes to CHH, I feel like especially as a CHH producer, um, do you have any concerns what kind of artist uses your beats?
Yes, because I have to be careful what I attach my name to. And also, what I know is what I had to learn. I also had to learn this. A lot of people might want to work with me, but they might not have me in my best interest as well too. So I really had to be careful about that too. And it's like I've experienced it before, like in different situations, like back in many years ago, but it helps me grow so that I can. But the one thing I'm really grateful to God is this: He's leading me to the artists that He wants me to work with, so that I can serve them and help them get to where they need to be. So that's how I'm just trusting the Holy Spirit and trusting God with it, with this gift, because it's not mine. Because at the end of the day, it belongs to Him. So
That's an awesome approach. So speaking of CHH, as a producer, you kind of have a different perspective into what CHH is, right? Because you're not the artist in CHH, you're not making the music like
mhm.
well you are, but like you're not, writing and putting out songs like that, or and you're not just a regular listener listening to. You have a unique position. You can be the fan and technically the artist.
Mhm.
So, are there any problems in CHH that you want to address or that you've seen?
Yeah, definitely. I want to say in CHH, we're called to do things at a very high level, but doing it with excellence as well too. And it's like those little things is like when the after the song is being released, okay, fill in the metadata, fill in all the credits. Nobody did it alone. You know what I mean? Even when Jesus was here on earth, he gathered disciples, he gathered people. He didn't do it alone. And then he chose them and boom. And definitely that's what I want to clarify is that doing things with excellence, even when we do it at a high level, fill the credits in. Does it alone. Nobody does like give them that credit. Give the producer that credit. Give the writers that credit too. so it will open more doors and opportunities for them too. Yeah.
That's facts. That's big facts. So basically, like, yeah, I've noticed that too, where like you as a producer, creative or something, you hear a song, and you're like, oh, I wonder who produces, so I can like kind of maybe work with them or like provide them an opportunity. Spotify credits nothing, and it's like, yo, like what's going on? Like, it kind
Mm-hmm.
of sucks that the producer might potentially be missing out on opportunities because you didn't want to like put in like what 10 minutes for not even like 30 seconds to credit your producer, right?
Exactly.
It's like or
Mhm.
even the songwriters too, right? So it's very important for sure. But I like to
That's
take
fine.
this. Yeah, it's facts. Yeah, 100%.
That's facts too. And sometimes look, if I for me, I love discovering new producers because look, I want to be that person that makes sure it's like, oh, if somebody's looking for check it if an artist is looking for a producer, so like, yo, I know this producer, he recently did this or this, he did this for it, and boom, boom, just like that.
Facts.
Because for me as an A&R, my A&R side, Dara the A&R. So like, yep, I definitely want to connect that bridge, be that bridge and connect them. So yeah.
For sure. So let's take it. I like to take it a step back. So what do you think is the well, not the difference, obviously, but like let's talk about secular or mainstream versus CHH. What are the pros and cons? What do you like and dislike in like both industries?
Ooh, okay, that's a good. So I gotta say this. In secular, the camaraderie is there. The camaraderie is there. In CHH, the camaraderie still needs to be worked on because we're supposed to be the kingdom, we're on the same side, but there's a little bit of beef here or beef there or like unnecessary beef that we don't need. You know what I mean? So that we can use the gift of music to bring people closer to God. You know what I mean? On the other hand, the secular music, I gotta say, the message and like what people are saying, it's like they said a lot of wild stuff too. They say a lot of wild stuff in secular. So that's why I rarely even listen to secular music. I don't even really listen to it at all. Pretty much it's just been Christian hip hop. Just listen to a lot of beats as well too. So yeah.
Part B of that question: would you ever work with a secular artist or a secular kind of team or something? Uh, no. It
Mm.
happens with a lot of CHH producers that they get the opportunity, but like, yo, your beats are fire. I have a record with I'm cooking up a record with so and so artist, mainstream artist, he's secular. Shoot a beat over, shoot a pack, something like. How do you kind of take that?
Hmm. Definitely, I would say this. I had to look at the fruit of the artist, the fruits. Okay, what is the artist saying? I like even though it's at a professional level, I still have the choice to turn it down because I know it's not for me as well too. Because I want my music to lead people to the Father, lead people to Christ. Because I remember I even posted it on Instagram one time that with producers we gotta produce music that leads people to Christ, not death and destruction too. And it's like I had to keep that in my mind and my heart every day too, because God will keep me accountable for the music I produced. Like, what did I do with this gift? Did I use it well? Did I steward it well too? Mm-hmm.
That's a good take on it. Like, you have your own kind of set of boundaries in which you operate in, and I feel like that's very important as a producer, but
Mm-hmm.
kind of like knowing where you stand in terms of your, morals and your and what you believe in, your values,
Yeah,
and not compromising it for the bag, pretty much, or
yeah,
like for the,
exactly.
you know,
No
and
compromising in
and
that.
everyone's
Yeah.
boundaries is obviously different, but like as long as you know that and you have that I feel like that's very important as a producer or a creative in general because creativity is very like, it's very personal. So
Yeah,
kind of not having something hinder that or your peace is very important.
yeah.
Um, but let's talk about you being a pretender. Kind of we talked about this before the actual interview, but like like beat packs and all that kind of stuff. So how do you personally approach artists at like if a young producer is watching this and is like, how do I reach out to artists because they don't know where to start? Let's say, how do you approach artists and what's your mindset like when you do?
Okay. For example, if I discover an artist that is fire and that artist is in my city, I'm like, okay, yo, it's great to meet you. First, be introduce yourself. The first thing people got to do is introduce yourself, introduce themselves, tell them about themselves. Hey, my name is this. My name is so and so. My name is Dara JT. I am a producer, originally from Dallas, Texas. I just heard your song and that was fire. I wanted to ask, like, what was the story behind that record, like this or that. Then we get to engage with the artist, engage with like tell them what is that life experience that they faced that inspired that song and stuff like that. Like a lot of people nowadays don't really they be like, yo, let's work, let's work, let's work. I get those DMs sometimes. So like, yo, but
Spam.
no, yeah, no introductions. I'm like, come on, introduce yourself. I want to hear from you. Let me hear your story. Let me hear your journey. Let me hear something. That's just me. I love to hear people's story. Like even the first time me and you met. Look, I wanted to hear your journey, your story too. I'm like, wow, that is powerful. And it's like it's great. Literally. I just want to say to the people out here who are out there that are watching this, engage. I listen to their story, hear their journey, because that's how you develop those relationships, and that's how it will grow easily.
That's awesome. That's it's very encouraging, you know.
Mm-hmm.
As in-person sessions are always better just because you can create that moment. You can like match
Mm-hmm.
energies, you know, just like match the energy, like oh, what type of wave you're on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely you can't really replicate that online per se.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can't. And it's good. And you got to be in the room with the artist, be in the
Thanks.
room because that's how incredible moments are made. Incredible moments are like, whoa, captured as well,
Hmm.
too. And no,
So sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
oh, no, you're good. And it says, and nobody can replicate it.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess kind of part B of that, but you kind of touched on this if they're in your city, like kind of connecting and like, inviting them over to the studio. What if
Mm-hmm.
someone like lives, you know, random just nowhere, let's say they don't have any artists in their city, but they really rock with people like outside or like or like just in general, like how do producers get in the room or get in the studio with these artists? Like what can they do? What are there any tips you have?
I definitely gotta say there are tools out there now that can help you engage with the artist even when you're not in the room. Number one, Discord. That's like what every producer is using right now to collaborate. And guess what? You can be in the and you can watch the session with the where the artist is at, like in the studio where the artist is, and you can also put your input. And then you can say like, "Ooh," the producer can direct the other engineer like, "Yo, let's try to turn this down. Oh, let's bring this up. Like, yo, try this word, try that word, even being in the songwriting process. Hey, producers, we just don't make beats. Producers, we just don't make beats. We we are a part of the songwriting process as well. We have to help unwind the thoughts of what the artist is feeling and put them into words, help them put them into words so that they can know how to structure that song from beginning to the end. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, so that's a good tip for any producer out there that's trying to like get into the rooms with people. Discord is a
Mm-hmm.
new wave now. Like there's so many servers out there just have like different like channels and you know call setups where it's like Studio A, Studio B, and just lock in with artists,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
That's really dope. So let's dig into some sauce, man. Let's get like the Dara JT sauce.
Okay.
So first, let's talk about this is kind of like a two-part question. First, what do you think are let me just say it like this: are there any overused production trends or techniques that are being used currently that you're kind of sick of?
Yes, honestly, I gotta say, Omnisphere is overused. You know what I mean?
Dang, yo, shots fired. He came at Omnisphere, bro.
I gotta
That's
say,
crazy.
I know sounds are limitless and everything, but it's like everything is so overused now. You know what I mean? I see them every time too, and it's like
Bro,
one
man's
thing
paying $500 for that. That's
yo,
crazy. That's tough.
for me, guess what? I use one shots. That's what I use, and you
That's
can still
tough.
get, and you can still use that, and you can still one shots give your beats, give your production a whole new sound, and it's like, oh snap, that is crazy. Like I've been using one shots for a long time to create my own melodies, my own samples, and then after that, convert them to a wave, and then add drums to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. And then another production technique that's been overused is the two-step hi-hat pattern with the trap drum patterns. I'm like, okay, let's switch it up. Start messing with more drum grooves. You know what I mean? An unexpected drum groove. And it's like, don't put the snare on the where like don't put the snare or the clap where it's gonna always be predictable. You know what I mean? Put it in another part of the bar, but like one instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, like 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Different ways, different drum bounces.
Facts.
Like, that's that's what I've been doing in my production a lot too. Just messing with a lot of different drum bounces so that it to be different and unique, and it still has that groove as well. So yeah.
That's what's up. That's dope, man. Okay, part B of that question. Well, you kind of touched on this, but like, I want some
Mm-hmm.
more sauce. Like, at least
Mm-hmm.
the viewers want some more sauce.
Yeah.
What are some underrated, underutilized production techniques that you use personally?
Oof. Some good ones. There's some really good underrated ones. I gotta say, definitely pitch plugins. Pitch plugins.
Yo, my man, bro. I just copped the little altar boy.
Yep.
During Black Friday weekend. Yo,
Yep.
game changer,
Sheesh.
fam. Is using
Exactly.
it on anything I can.
Pitch plugins. Guess what? What's it called? From Lecrae's song, because like Little Altar Boy was used. That sample that you heard at the beginning, Spread the Ops. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a sample, but a vocal sample, but Little Altar Boy was used of that. People should start using that more. Pitch your sounds, pitch your vocals, create some that's gonna definitely that's it. I gotta say that process is underrated, but it's still fun. It's so much fun because like people are now creating children choir samples or like children's choir or harmonies just from Little Altar Boy. It's crazy. Sound Toys is the goat. Sound Toys.
That's dope, bro. That's
Mm-hmm.
well, you wanna yeah, anything else? Any other sauce or
Ooh.
like
Okay. I'll give them this more sauce. Pitch Will by Quick Quack Audio. By Quick Quack Audio. Quick Quack, yeah. Pitch Will by Quick Quack. Like sometimes if you don't like a pitch that is in, just turn that wheel. It's fire too. And I love the way it looks too. I just like, ooh,
that's what's
it's
up.
inspiration. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope, bro. All right, we come to our last question. Then let's just talk about advice to up and coming producers, uh, or like CHH in general.
Alrighty. So my advice to up and coming producers is this: find our artist. Find our artist that doesn't have a catalog on any platform. Work together. That's what you can do first because I'm in that season right now that I'm working with an artist right now. She has no songs out there, but she's written a lot of them. And guess what? I'm in the production process, the songwriting process as well too. And guess what? Also being in the role like I'm also in that role of being a manager as well too, being like managing her, like to say, hey, okay, let's go for this, let's go for that. Because look, producers, listen to this. Once you work with that upcoming artist that has no catalog, guess what? It forces you to play different roles that you've never experienced before, and it helps you grow as a producer even more. For example, producers, you got to be the writers. Producers, you got to be that manager. Producers, you got to be that A&R. Producers, like literally, it's so much fun too, and I've been enjoying it. And then,
Y'all heard it here first, folks. Connect with an artist. No catalog, an upcoming artist. Forget who said this. He said build laterally, not vertically. And it's
yeah,
very true to this day. Like building with people around you that are on your level. It's not bad. To shoot for the stars, trying to reach for the top. Like throw a beat in there, trying to see if anyone picks it up. But surrounding yourself with people that are on your level that you can build and keep growing together, I feel like that's more sustainable
mm-hmm,
and more gives you more of a platform to stand up
yeah,
on. So,
mm-hmm.
Madara, it was dope having you. We appreciate you for joining in for this interview. Once again, congratulations on being the 2022 Rapzilla freshman. It's dope to see you killing it, bro, and we're excited for what you have coming up next. And yeah, man. So actually, you got anything for 2023? You got any exclusive leaks you want? Exclusive sneak peeks or something? Any projects in the works?
I just want to say, watch out for these two artists. I'm gonna say, first artist Danny J, and then the other upcoming the artist I want to also highlight. Her name is Verb as well. Be on the lookout for those two. Like they got fire. They
That's
got
what's up.
fire
That's
on them.
what's up. But once again, bro, we appreciate for joining us on this interview. Make sure y'all go tap in with Dara JT. Need beats or anything. Again, it's your boy Opta Opta Music. It's another Rapzilla freshman interview. Peace.
Peace.